Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Jens. I'm the Executive Creative Director at Daybreak Games, and I am here with Sebastian, our Art Director on H1Z1.
Hey.
And I am here with Salim, our Senior Designer on H1Z1 Just Survive.
Hello.
And we are here to show you some really cool stuff and talk to you about H1Z1 Just Survive. Some things coming up in the short term that you're going to see soon, and some things maybe that we're thinking about down the road. Also, we're going to be showing you some really cool stuff with some zombies that Salim and the art team have been working on, some new zombie types, some new zombie variety, which looks amazing. Maybe we're going to get into some new features that we have coming into the game here as well, a possible weapon that they might find interesting. And then you, sir, are about to share the beauty, right? With some awesome new lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have some footage that's just hot off the press. Devin, our own Bob Ross.
Devin.
Happy
Pixels.
Yeah, he just took some awesome new footage that shows our new lighting and some new assets that are going into the new zone we're working on.
So we're going to check that out, which is going to be amazingly cool. You guys are going to love it. And after that, I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of our high-level plans, very, very little bit, with Just Survive. And after that, we have something super exciting for you. You guys remember Survivor Radio? Well, it's back. Not only is it back, it's going to be live. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, Survivor Radio. There it is. All right, so we'll get to that at the end of the show to wrap it up. You're gonna have a blast. This is gonna be really fun. All right, so let's kick it off with some zombie action. That's what H1Z1's all about, right? So got to start it off with that. Cool new zombies, dude.
Yep.
Let's talk about them.
So over the past few months, we've been enhancing our zombie AI and looking into movement and things like that.
Working in the viral lab.
Yes.
Mixing new strains.
And one of the things that came out of it was we wanted to progress the virus and define some mutations for the virus. So out of that, we decided, hey, what do these mutations do to the host? And coming up soon, we'll be introducing 3 of those zombies. And the first one of those is the exploder zombie.
Ooh, let's look at that. Awesome.
So yeah, he's kind of a kooky guy.
Oh, there's multiple kinds.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He definitely explodes.
Yes, indeed.
Why did you name it Exploder Zombie? I don't understand.
That's just what we call him.
Yeah.
It just kind of fits. It's what he does.
I think it's a stretch, but I'll go with it. I'm gonna let it slide.
It works.
All right. Do we want to check this guy out in the game?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Ooh, pretty nighttime. Pretty nighttime.
So one thing about the zombie that's super cool is he's got this particle around him, and the particle is used so that you can identify him in the group. You can see the waves coming off of him. And at some point he's going to blow up on me. But what he does is when he gets you as a target, he'll run up to you, get close, and then he'll crouch down, and that's your cue to get the heck out of Dodge, because he's going to explode. And the thought process behind this particular mutation of the virus is that it changes the host instincts from just hunger to hey, I need to propagate. So I'm going to try to spread my juice all over the place, and as soon as I find a living host, I'm going to. What's wrong with that? It's blood, juice, gore. I'm going to explode, and boom, I'll get all over the place. And
juice everywhere.
Yeah. But that's the exploder. It's very, very simple. If you see them in a group, you kill them, they'll explode and destroy other zombies. So there's kind of a cool tactical aspect to it where, hey, I see this guy, I see the hue, I'm going to shoot him. Boom, I can take care of a group of zombies, or I can hurt the group of zombies.
So it's like an explosive powder keg kind of thing in the middle of a bunch of enemies. You can blow them up.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And one other thing you note about them is that they all have a particular look about them. You can see that they're all wearing our ski mask item. And sometimes they'll spawn with hoodies, sometimes they'll spawn shirtless. But one thing about them you can always tell is that you see that ski mask along with the vapor coming off of them. You should probably shoot them from afar, or just skip that group of zombies.
Can you switch this to maybe like a
Yeah,
daytime?
what
or something?
happens to
It's
these
getting
guys during the
dark.
day?
So one other aspect of the virus mutation we thought would be cool is, since it's kind of a combustible thing, that if they are caught in the daytime, they will just explode.
So the sun kind of cooks them and then
Yeah.
they blow up.
It starts a combustive reaction in the blood and causes them to explode. So they're really a more nighttime spawn thing. But yeah, if you're near them and the clock ticks over, you might get some juice on you.
So these can be used for good, or they can be used for ill, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
can come at you and they can catch you off guard, do
Yep.
some damage, but you can also be very tactical and blow them up in a crowd, use them to your advantage. You just have to be able to pick them out. So
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff.
You see them chasing another player, you could shoot them and they'll explode and hit the other player.
Can I throw them at another player?
No.
Damn
no.
it. All right, that's all right. Maybe we'll work on that.
So another zombie that's similar to the exploder, it's based off of the same mutation, is something that we call the gasser zombie.
Gross.
And I really love how this zombie came together.
Juicy.
Gassy.
So
Definitely gassy. Yeah, she looks cool. I like the walk and the effect. That's persistent, the gas, right?
yes.
Let's see that one in game. Let's check that out.
So I'll just show it to you before I have her move around. But as you can see, this is very similar to the exploder. The gasser zombies, they have respirator, and they have this persistent noxious effect.
Can't stand themselves.
So this version of the virus is kind of an earlier form of the other mutation, in that what it does is it spreads itself a little more effectively. It doesn't necessarily need to explode. Let me get her walking here. This version of the zombie. Come after me.
Oh, did you do a hide?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe spawn her after. Oh, there you
Oh,
go. There you go. There you go.
So one thing you notice from the video and from this is that she has this kind of interesting gait and kind of goofy walk, which is based off of the Tar Man. Any of you Return of the Living Dead fans. So when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that'd be a really cool thing to throw in the game. But like any other zombie, she'll walk up to you, she'll see you, she'll attack. So she's a standard walker in that aspect. But the thing that makes her kooky is you start shooting her, and if you don't kill her fast enough, she'll do this thing where she's basically the virus is telling her, hey, I need to spread. There's other stuff around. And if you leave her out for too long, she eventually does what the exploder does. The one cool thing to note about that gas effect is if there's other zombies around, other zombies will pick up the virus and they'll get the noxious particle on them, and they now have a chance of exploding. So if you see her in a crowd, you probably don't want to shoot her near other zombies, because then you'll have a problem of just the mutation, the virus propagating to other
So
zombies.
hit the exploder first, get rid of those other zombies, then hit the gasser.
Yes.
What happens if the gasser gets on the exploder?
The exploder doesn't affect the exploder.
Oh.
Viruses are too similar.
All right, cool. So there's a little bit of gameplay there.
Yep. And so the next zombie that we're introducing is a personal favorite of mine, and she's called the Screamer.
This model is badass.
Yes.
Like, I love the look of this. The lack of the jaw on the bottom and everything like that, just the tongue hanging out.
Yeah.
This was one of our first unique zombie NPCs we created. Actually was originally concepted by one of our Girl Gamer interns.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Last year.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
she did a fantastic job.
She has some dirty feet.
The zombie or the intern?
No, not the intern.
Okay.
I don't know if the intern has dirty feet or not. She might, but I don't know. No, her, the screamer.
So her particular mutation focuses on the mutation of the vocal cords, which allows her to do the screech. And you know, in the story behind it, when that initial burst happens, it basically destroys the jaw. So the big thing about the screamer, and part of why she's bound, is that she's frustrated. She's still hungry like a normal zombie, but she can't eat.
Because of the lack of the mandible.
Yeah. So the big thing with her is that, you know, all of her movements, all her animations are these kind of violent twitches and shakes and breakouts because she's just really hungry, but she can't eat. And so I can show her in game.
Yeah, let's check her out in game. So all of these are really interesting. You know, I love that exploder. That animation on the exploder is so cool. But this one is terrifying. There, I'll get the scream effects on you right now, right?
Yep. So what she does is she basically just screams. She's letting other zombies know, hey, there's something over here. Come kill it. You know, kill it so maybe I can like rub my tongue on it or something and get some sustenance because I can't chew anything. So as you can see, like she brought these zombies over here from far away. But one thing about it is that when she screams when you get hit by the scream, you hold your ear. She slows you down. And she does a little bit of damage. Her sonic scream also does damage to structures. If you're near a car or something like that, or a car's near her, and it gets hit by it, don't stand too close to it because eventually that car or that wall will blow up. So she has an interesting trick too. As you can see, she just kind of runs around you. She's hard to hit. She's resistant to certain weapon types. And get some more ammo here.
One thing that's cool about this zombie too, while you're doing that, is how much of a visceral effect this zombie's power has on you, right? Other zombies, they hit you, you might be a little hit react, you see yourself bleeding. Like there's a full post-effect change, the animation, the camera angle is tilting, like the feedback on this is just incredible.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that we're wanting to continue, is getting that visceral feel, and especially in first person. As you can see, she's very hard to hit. Come here, you.
You'll know when you're hitting her now thanks to the handy-dandy flash on the reticle. I love it! It's so great.
All right. Okay. Hang on. Let me get her down.
No, that was something we've talked about with zombies in general. Is we've looked at a lot of other zombie games out there and noted how there's a bunch of them that are difficult to get like a headshot on.
Yeah.
And our animations for a long time were very predictable.
Yeah.
And so like this wasn't a good example where we wanted to put in some extra effort to make it harder to predict when you're going to be able to hit her in the head or anywhere. Really.
Yeah, like so zombies have always started as the sort of, you know,
the slow, lumbering,
meandering, slow zombie.
Right.
And then we had the revolutionary rage zombie where you're like, oh my god, zombies that move fast.
Yeah.
And now the lore is always moving toward that there's a spectrum. And
exactly.
good zombie lore has a spectrum. So we're starting to get that into our game right now.
Yeah.
So once you get her down to a certain point, she eventually breaks out of her bonds and she just rushes in to attack. This is a situation you don't want to have to deal with because if you don't have a shotgun or something that's going to drop her quick, she's going to kill you pretty fast. During this whole time, she still screams and things like that, so she's still snaring you, and she's pretty diddly overall. So she's a dangerous creature.
Melee's better for her?
Yes, melee is definitely a better way to go if you can manage to sneak up on her while she's in her initial position, which I didn't get a chance to show that. Let me show that real quick.
Her kneeling?
So this is how you see her. She's a stationary zombie. When she spawns, she's just sitting here. She's, you know, just relaxing and, you know, kind of listening and
thinking about rubbing her tongue on something, you know.
Yes. So that is her. She does have dirty feet. Wow.
I told you, like it's like crazy dirty. Like, I mean,
she's running around in a chimney.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nuts. She should lurk in chimneys, dude. We need to add that in there.
But that's the Screamer. One other thing that I've been working on. Let me get to a good open area.
Meleeer, dude. Oh, that's all right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I want to get a nice open spot. So one other thing that we wanted to do with just our basic zombies was we went through a lot of internal things where we made the AI a little better and made it function a little better. But one of the bigger things was adding the variety. We really wanted to nail down the fact that, or nail home the fact that these zombies are people who lived in the city or were visiting the city.
They're not a marching band.
Of life. Yeah,
they're not all in the same uniform.
We should add a marching band in there, though. Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it. With the
Like
drum.
a zombie herd spawn is just a marching band.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So,
Dude.
so as you can see, you'll notice one key thing about these guys. Some of them have hair. Sebastian was super excited when I started talking about putting the hair in the game, because now our zombies don't all look like Nosferatu. You can see that there's a lot of more variety in what they're wearing.
Look at the dude with the glasses right there.
You recognize
You're
they're wearing glasses, and some of them wearing face masks and things like that. So you also notice that we have some new postures and things like that. And
some of them are really putting it all into it.
Yeah.
And we're trying to overall kind of mess with the silhouette. So right now they're standing still because they don't have a target or anything. But as they walk and as they move around at different rates, these different postures keep their heads in certain positions and their body shifting. So it's not just I put my gun at one level and just shoot across the spectrum. I have to actually have some skill and think about the zombie horde. Do I run away? Do I take out a couple of them, or do I?
You go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say spawn an exploder in there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what
That's gonna crash the game,
actual,
I think.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. It's gonna be too awesome.
Why do you give me a heart attack like that?
Yeah, I know.
Let's see.
Yeah, spawn an exploder in there and then shoot him.
Oh wait, he spawned on top of me. Sorry.
Okay. Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, get him in there. I think it's 2. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Shoot that dude.
Oh, he's gonna explode automatically.
He didn't get anybody.
I have a better way of killing them.
Okay, do it.
So
I want to see a gasser in there.
talking about the Screamer, one thing that you can craft if you get some of the Screamer's blood, if you have empty syringe and you go to collect blood like you do a normal zombie, with her you'll get her version of the virus, and you can take that virus to the hospital and get some plasma and find some broken sonic grenades at the military base, and with those two you can create a sonic grenade. Where are you? There you are.
You've seen it here first, ladies and gentlemen. H1Z1 zombie blood weaponization going on here.
Let me equip it. Apparently, I'm not good enough to equip this.
There you go.
So what this grenade should do?
Want to do third person? Nice.
When this grenade is thrown, they might all be there. When this grenade is thrown, it attracts any nearby zombies to it. You see they're like, hey, the Screamer's here, I'm going to know how to do some stuff, and boom. And kills them. Pretty basic.
Go get your loot, dude!
But a great tool overall for if zombies are attacking you, if you're trying to run away from them, if you've got a bunch of runners on you, stuff like that.
That's cool.
You can toss this grenade and they should run towards it and eventually blow up. But the bigger thing is that it helps you get away from hordes of zombies.
Now, you think you can get the gasser in there to pass its little thing on, or what?
Well, I can simulate the effects. Let me see. 9.
There we go.
So that's the gasser's effect.
Yeah.
And you'll see once it
start to pick it
finishes that a bunch of these zombies now have the gas emanating from them. So if I kill them, if you kill them quick enough, you can actually prevent them from exploding. If I was actually able to. But if you don't, you can see that they now explode. So once again, you're trying to add some varied gameplay to zombies, making sure that you stop and look and trying to recognize the threat that you're running into. But that about covers
Cool.
zombies.
Well, players are going to be able to see these on test Friday.
Yes.
So they're going to be able to see the new zombie types and play around with them for yourselves. So Friday, once we get test back up and push this build on there, go out and check these guys out for yourselves. They're out there in Just Survive come Friday on our test server. So cool, dude.
You mentioned we were talking about adding the hair in there and how excited I was about that.
Yep.
And,
You love hair? Yes.
I love.
He's got that.
I love that.
Yep.
Got my hair there.
Yep. Every 2 hours, there's a combing break in Sebastian's office.
Yeah.
We get this all under control.
Yeah. Anyhow, the thing I was excited also about that we spent a lot of time last year prepping these zombies for was being able to equip them with player wearables, with player hairstyles, and I'm excited that we're finally starting to see a payoff from that. I mean, we had the visual payoff last year where we revamped the zombies, we revamped the player characters, but now it's giving us opportunities to do this where we can put different wearables on these zombies to break up the way they look, so they're not all the same.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when you're walking
you
around
see in a
the
crowd.
world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
Yep.
So
Definitely adds to
we're
the
excited for
immersion
you guys
experience.
to see this on test on Friday. It's going to be amazing. So speaking of amazing, a little longer look down the road now. We're going to shift into some of our more long-term goals and things like that. We're going to be talking about some of the new lighting changes that you guys have going on in this new environment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you have a video that you're going to share.
Yeah, I've got a
right?
video here that, like I said earlier, Devin, our environment lead, had put together. So this is showing. This is another really big thing that we've changed that's been in the works for, at least 5 or 6 months probably. Jason Eaton, our graphics programmer, has basically given us the ability to make the interiors darker than the exterior, which sounds kind of like common sense, but when you actually see the before and after, actually I'll bring up the picture just to illustrate the point. I tweeted these out a couple weeks ago. So this is what we've had up to this point, and this is what we're going to be getting. And so like I said, what that does is you can be walking outside, and if you're looking at an interior and looking inside of an abandoned shop, right now it looks like it's lit, like it's just outside, but it will now look like it's darker when you're looking in there.
And there's an iris system at play here too in terms
Correct.
of lighting and stuff.
Correct.
So it actually makes a difference in terms of gameplay. You know, we talk
Yeah.
about survival games and the body sim and things like that, and the lighting will actually start enhancing that feeling too.
Yeah, we're trying to simulate a wider range of value, which your eye can see, which unfortunately the computers don't show you. But this is a pretty common method that most contemporary games are using these days. So we're upgrading our system to use that as well. This also just shows, this is our test zone where
gross.
we're got flies
That's
around the
disgusting,
dumpster.
dude.
Yeah. But this is a test zone. We put all these new assets in here. We got cockroaches.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just adding more life and animation to the environment, I think, goes a long way.
You might want to collect those and eat them, right?
Yeah,
They could raise
you
your
can mix them
comfort
with
level.
some of the screamer juice and
and make a cockroach grenade, and you throw it out there, and it never
That
goes
would be
away. It
amazing.
just stays
Yeah.
there forever, screaming.
Yep. So yeah, here's an example with maggots.
Oh, gross, dude! Those are jumbo maggots,
They are.
like mega maggots going on there.
those
Yep.
are pretty big.
What, vultures?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had birds in, probably about a year ago, but each bird was its own NPC, and now we're optimizing it so they're kind of clusters of particles that can still fly around the environment, but it's just more efficient. You know, we're always
Yeah.
trying to make sure that we're being efficient and making sure frame rate is
Good.
is good.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Good
yeah.
is the word you're
Yeah,
looking for.
exactly.
So, you
Yeah.
know what? I wanted to just have you, first of all, love the new look of a lot of these buildings. I'm seeing some taller buildings than
Yep.
I've seen in the past, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And also, there's some layout differences, some shape and dimension differences at play here
Yeah.
that people
Yeah.
might not notice.
Well, yeah, there's a couple things. I don't know if viewers had noticed. We're actually coming up with a consistent standard for like door widths, stair widths, Here, this is an example of a structure Tad Ehrlich, one of our senior environment artists, had just worked on recently. He's created templates for the designers so that you guys can decide where you want the staircases to be, so we can get variety in the different floor levels and build up. Where before we were only building maybe the first 2 floors and the rest of the building was cut off. So definitely, I mean, that's kind of a rule that's been applied to almost everything we're putting into the new map, is making things as modular as possible so that we can reuse things and give the designers more flexibility. This is a cool example.
Dude, he has on like super conveys, by the way. I just want to say, like, I have never seen anyone move this fast. This is amazing.
This is a little
I
bit,
want the code for these dev conveys.
We'll make that a crate item.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But that example, he was actually jumping from one building to the next. They were right next to each other. So there's some interesting opportunities to
more traversal opportunities. Yeah. And interestingly, so we were in first person for a while there. Dude, that's like action hero stuff right there. And
I think God mode
the transition now with these, it's not just about like changing the space for level design too. There's some camera stuff at play here too. When you're playing in third person, it's a lot more of a smoother transition through these spaces because they're not so tight. They are exaggerated a little more. This barn is cool.
This is one of the new structures we're putting in the more rural area of the new map. So Josh Deeb, another senior environment artist that worked on this, and he tweeted out some pictures, I think last week for this. So
thank him for signing us up for zombie horses, because I know Legion's going to get a bunch of tweets now like, dude, you have a stable. Where are the zombie horses?
We should make them mounts.
We can make a Winnie grenade. I don't know what it would do, but
throw it and all that, they get on top of it and ride off in the sunset.
Yep, I'm telling you, the Screamer grenade, the possibilities are endless at this point. It sets an infinite
brook
precedent for crazy. I like it.
Yep.
One thing that I want to note is, you talking about, the environment and the birds and stuff like that. I think it's just an overall theme for us, even with the zombie variation, that we want to kind of bring life to this undead world.
Yes.
You run around now and there's just, just kind of bland and nothing's really going on. So, as we move forward, we're trying to do all these things that kind of give the world more life and immerse you deeper into what you're doing, and kind of bring home the fact that this is kind of a desperate situation, but this is real. Like this is something that I'm.
We want it to be more immersive, and I think
variety around every corner, over every hill.
Exactly.
Right now, you kind of feel like you
don't see a cookie cutter. Yeah,
exactly.
And I mean that is how we develop. I mean we don't handcraft every single asset for every part of the map, and that's just a reality of game development. But there's clever ways to make things modularly so that we can mix and match stuff, and so that you don't see that repetition as much. But even the adding the this new lighting gives us more visual depth, adding more particles. We're going to be looking at some light sources that we're adding that's going to add more contrast to the environment and more mood.
He really has no one to blame but himself for hitting that light pole, because he put it in the middle of the road. Like
that's true.
What was that light pole doing there?
Yeah.
It was like.
So in here, Devin is switching it to
this
nighttime.
Is the new lighting stuff too.
So I am super excited about this. For a long time, our nighttimes were pretty dark, and there wasn't weren't any real light sources other than from vehicles, and so we've been experimenting with adding solar panels to the bus stops, light. We have street lamps here that are lit up and creating interesting pools of light. Rich Schoberg and Roel, some of the other artists working on this, were spending the past couple of weeks trying to find opportunities to add light sources and even make them breakable. So here's an example where you can shoot the light out or partially out, and then that can also change gameplay, right? Like you can go through and shoot some lights out and be more shrouded in darkness here.
You'd think that there would be maybe one benefit of being in a world of zombie apocalypse is that there would be no more mosquitoes, but damn it, there are mosquitoes.
That's true.
In here.
Yeah, can't escape those.
That's a cool detail, by the way. Just seeing those bugs.
Yeah, you see that's sparking there now because you shot it out. And just little subtle things like that, I think, by themselves aren't a big deal, but when you start layering those over the whole environment, it really starts to make it feel
That's beautiful
alive.
Looking. I love how you captured that golden yellow light that you often see coming out of street lights. You know what I mean? It's not that standard white light. It has that amber kind of quality to it. It's nice visual touch you guys captured.
I think, yeah, here's an example of going into an interior inside of a house at nighttime. Now, again, the lighting, the actual settings here, we're still tweaking, but we're experimenting with making it.
I'm scared. Salim, hold
yeah,
me.
more
There could be a
suspenseful, more
zombie in
dramatic.
here.
Right. We don't want you to just walk in and see everything. We want to have some mystery to this. So. And there's now a use for the flashlight, right?
Oh, crank radio.
Yeah.
Call for help, dude. It's not coming. It's not coming. You're on your own.
Well, we've got the radio, Survivor Radio, coming up. So
That's
maybe
true.
That's what they're
We're
gonna listen
going to
to.
crank that up in a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what else can we look at in here? Is this pretty much the breadth
Let's
of it?
see. Yeah.
You got anything else exciting?
So here's an example where the door widths have been widened. We haven't actually changed the size of the door yet,
Yeah,
but
it's like-
so not the most secure
It's
doorway.
drafty in
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Like, need some caulk up in those sides
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Weather stripping or something.
Yep.
Good clarification there.
Yes.
Cases of it.
Yes.
So, but yes, more interior here. I think at the end we show one of the church structures that Carson Steele, another environment artist, has been working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're almost at that point where, yeah, that was kind of a cool shot where you see kind of the slats in front of the window, and you're like inside a dark room looking out, and you see it lit.
And a lot of the buildings right now, they either have full on boarded up windows,
Yeah.
or they're
Yeah.
just glass.
Yep.
And this offers a lot more opportunity for gameplay, especially between player and player on the Just Survive servers, because there's partial cover right there, and you can shoot out of it.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's very
More
interesting.
depth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it goes back to the depth
For
we
sure.
were talking about. So this is pretty much the tail end of the video here. I think there was a little
Whoa.
shot of the.
Oh my God! A lot of
here
birds.
we go. Here's the new church that Carson's been working on. He's just
No, don't do
yesterday
it.
was working on this new glass here, and we're trying to
That's
again
nice.
have that depth. You can look through windows and see out, and it's not
Right.
just like closed off.
That's beautiful.
I thought he was gonna smash it, dude.
We're not there yet.
I was
Not yet.
afraid.
It will set it up for that.
That kind of craftsmanship has been lost in this world. Those
That's
people,
true.
there aren't a lot of stained glass window makers anymore.
That's true.
So you got to preserve that
You
stuff.
can make
Yeah.
a zombie that does it.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. I like it.
Or a horrible idea.
Yeah, or maybe they jump through the stained glass and they've got
That
this
would be
colored
cool,
glass
actually. I
all
like
over 'em and
that,
stuff
yeah.
like that, and then they kind of fling it at you.
On the list
Make
of,
that happen. We're good. No.
Wow.
All right. Well, I think that
Cool.
wraps up the new environment stuff.
All right. Well,
so.
obviously, a lot of really cool, exciting stuff coming on the environment side down the road as we start working on our tech and our environment art as well. A lot of cool lighting things going on. Obviously, all of these things are gameplay affecting as well. So we'll look forward to seeing how you guys, use that and adapt to those new environments and those new features when the things go live on test and eventually on the server near you. Now I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the future down the road. Okay, I do have a couple of little notes I'm going to write just to make sure I don't forget anything here. I'm cheating.
Get
Get 'em
not upside
right here in
down.
the
Yeah.
middle.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, right order. Okay, so obviously we've just recently split this game H1Z1 into two separate SKUs, and we've got H1Z1 Just Survive, which we're talking about today. We've shown you some of the things that are coming forward to you feature-wise. On Friday we're getting those zombies on test, and then down the road we're getting all this lighting stuff and everything. So a lot of exciting things happening. So what's our plan going forward? I'm sure you really want to know that. I know that Legion and Radar X have been doing a lot of communication with you guys and talking about kind of things that we've said in the past, prior to some changes of direction at the company here. And, we acknowledge those, but one of the things about early access is that it gives us an opportunity to really see what you guys are doing in the game out there. To really see, not just anecdotally from your feedback, but actually being able to observe literally the behavior in the game and how, what things you guys are interested in interacting with and what you're engaging with and holds your interest. And, we're going to really be making sure that we put a lot of thought and care into the vision that goes behind the direction we're taking the game and really harnesses all that stuff that you're doing. So one of those things would definitely be, base building. Base building is a huge thing that people are really interested in this particular aspect of the game. That's going to be something that we're going to focus on majorly going forward with the game. Base building, how it works. We want to make sure that this experience doesn't require a server reset for you to have, a new stuff to try, and we want that to be part of the core loop. How do we actually involve the base building, not make it so that you get the world kind of stagnates and feels really static and nobody has any room to do anything. We're going to fix that problem through some changes in the design that we're going to outline for you going forward. And why do I say outline for you going forward? Right? Let's be honest. We're not going to sit here and tell you, I'm not going to promise you a million things. Salim's not going to promise you a million things. Neither is Sebastian. The team members aren't going to be going, oh yeah, down the road we're going to have X, Y, Z and all this stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to not lock ourselves into any one particular thing. We're not going to paint ourselves into a corner here with some random comment we made on a live stream or over Twitter like 5 months before. One of the things that's really important for us to do is to make sure that we have an ongoing dialogue with you, our players, and also really checking in with what our game does well and harness its strengths, what we really feel like we can deliver on for a top quality survival experience that's also unique in the market. There's a lot of survival games out there. What makes H1Z1 Just Survive so unique and compelling to play? That's the important question that we have to answer as we move forward with development here. And we're doing that right now. So we're into showing, not telling. Okay, now we've shown you a bunch of things today, and all these things are things we are committed to, and that we have a very high degree of confidence that we're going to be delivering on. Obviously we're putting these zombies on test on Friday, and we've got the environment changes that are well underway to improve the visual fidelity and some of the gameplay aspects to the Just Survive experience. We have some plans for bases. We have some plans for the survival mechanics. Rest assured, they will be there. Okay. As they present themselves in a more solidified form, we're going to be showing them to you. We're going to be rolling them out to you. Okay, we're not going to do some, hard, fast roadmap right now that leads us to the finish line that we may or may not be able to 100% deliver on as described today. Right? So, it's all about making a quality experience for you guys. Again, at its core, Just Survive is going to remain a survival game. But we're going to be adding some unique things to it that I think set it apart from the rest of the survival genre games that you see out there, and I think you're going to love them because it really harnesses that part of the game that you guys are super into, that initial experience of discovery and building on your bases and gathering those resources. That's the real heart of what's going on here, surviving in that world and finding a way to build yourself up. But where do you go from there? Those are the questions that we're answering, and that's what we're going to really incorporate into the design and get some stuff out there for you.
Yep. We want to take the core experience that exists now, take all the fun and focus on that, and then just add on to it, enhance it, and add more fun things for you to do, and immerse you more, make you want to log in the next day and do different things.
All right, so as things unfold, I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of questions. I recognize that, right? I'm sure you are. But again, we're not gonna make a bunch of promises right now when we really want to show you what we're talking about. So look for some changes coming up in the future. We'll make sure to message those out to you and give you first looks at things so we can have that ongoing dialogue. So you're not feeling like it's too late to actually give us some feedback on the features that we're developing. And we'll always, as always, be listening to your feedback and, taking the stuff that we really think is going to enhance the game moving it forward. I mean, let's be honest, right? Not every single thing that comes in is like the golden idea that's like the best thing ever, right? Some of them are. A lot of them are. We're going to incorporate what we can. But we're listening. We want your feedback. It's crucial to what we do.
I got an interesting tweet when I shared a Vine animation of one of the Exploder zombies last week, and somebody had responded with a reference of a video they saw from PlanetSide 2 of a character falling apart, and they said, could you use that method to make the death animation for our zombies look better? And Salim and I talked about it, and we're actually thinking we might be able to do something like that, and I wouldn't have thought of that. I thought it was really cool how players were engaging with us, and I mean we are listening, and I take a lot of inspiration from our players.
Yeah, I do as well. I know we all do on the team. It's really built on that. So even though sometimes we're quiet, it's because we're working on the stuff that we've thought of, or you've thought of, or we've thought of off of the things that you've suggested to us. There is a lot of back and forth going on, even though we're not necessarily minute to minute reporting in minutes on what we're doing at our desk for you each day. Just, I know we've been working on the game for a while. We're going to be working on it for a little while longer, so we can make sure it's right. So, the best thing we can do for each other right now is with developer and community relationship is just be patient with each other and understand that all of us want the best quality game we can possibly get out of this experience. Is it going to be exactly what was described to you a year ago? No. Is it going to be awesome? Yes. I hope all of you think so as well. Some of you may, some of you might not. I don't know. I can't say. Everybody likes different games.
Yep.
I think it's going to be awesome, right? So stay tuned for more news on that, and we'll get it to you as things develop. All right, that being said, our portion of this is over, okay? And we are now going to tune in to Survivor Radio. Now, what is Survivor Radio? Beep, 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 beep. Had to do it. Sorry. It's the little radio things. They're right here. Higher. Right? No? No. Come on, you're talking about all kinds of tongue rubbing and juices, and I don't know. I can do a little radio nipple. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so anyway, we have fun here at Daybreak Games. It's what we do. So Survivor Radio, what is it? Well, a while ago, before we launched the game, we gave some radio show about a reporter running around collecting stories from Survivor's perspective in the H1Z1 universe. And it was really terrific. After this broadcast, if you haven't heard it before, you should go check it out. So in the tradition of that, we wanted to do more of it. So we actually asked the communities to submit Survivor stories for Survivor Radio that we would then read on the air live. And so we chose our 3 favorite Survivor Radio submissions from the community, and they will be getting one of these fabulous Survivor Radio nipple t-shirts. No, just the Survivor Radio t-shirts. Sans the nipples. You bring your own nipples to it. Okay, anyway.
You're really stuck on that.
Yeah, I'm making sure I get to come back and do one of these shows.
Wow.
Okay. So, anyway, they're going to get this t-shirt, and we plan on doing this a little more in the future, so look out for it so you too can also have one of these really cool Survivor Radio t-shirts. But now, without further ado, let's tune in to Survivor Radio.
Hello? Is there anyone out there? If you can hear me, my name is Julie Miller. I'm holed up in a campsite near Pleasant Valley. I found this radio, figured I'd give it a shot. First off, it's not safe in town anymore. If you were planning on going there, I wouldn't recommend it. I can't believe how quickly everything went to hell. It's been months now since this all began. I spend most of the days just scavenging for supplies and spending my nights looking for shelter from the undead. From the wolves. From the people. I may be a fool for reaching out like this, but I'm sick of the loneliness. I think I'd almost rather die than spend the rest of my days in constant hiding and fear. I want to survive, but not like this. Not anymore. I had this idea about constructing my own shelter in a secluded area. Maybe even near that development out to the east. The Villas, I think it was called. It'd be a lot of work on my own, though, having to gather all the materials and whatnot. But what else is there to do? Not like I can take in a matinee of the newest blockbuster. If anyone's listening, I'll keep this radio tuned to Channel 4 and check it every day at dusk. If you want to reach out in hell, I don't know, maybe even try to survive together. Perhaps we could meet. Or at least talk. I'd like to have at least one more conversation before I die. Well, on that note, I'm going to quit this pointless yammering. I figure if there's anyone out there hearing this, you would have said something by now. So, fuck it. Julie out.
Hello? Julie?
Good afternoon. This is Uncle Tim down at Uncle Tim's Hotel, formerly known as Dam Valley Slums. We currently have multiple rentals available for you honest survivors out there. If you got a door, we've got a safe place for you to live and loot from. Whether it's for 1 hour or 1 wipe, we've got a place for you. Pay no mind to that mystery slime on the beds. If you see 5 cabins on Avram Highway, sprint down to the water and you'll be on your way to safety. Once you've set up your door and lock to your shelter, you're free to go. Rent is simple donations. A few scrap a week or some branches is all it takes to stay. More is welcome, but not required. After a week, you'll get access to the Terminus Steakhouse. Terminus Steakhouse, where our motto is, we'd love to have you for dinner.
My alarm clock woke me in heart-pounding confusion. I fumbled around, fingers trembling as I scrambled for the snooze button. Frantically, unable to find it, I tore it from the wall with one quick motion, the red flash of 1:30 p.m. still burning in my retinas. I tried to get a focus on my surroundings. I peeled back the duct tape from my windows and peered outside. The street was packed with cars, doors open, all abandoned, filled with belongings pouring into the street. The traffic light at the end of the road weakly flashed yellow, not a soul in sight. I pressed the tape back up against the window. I stepped over to the light switch and flipped it. I was greeted with a bright, blinding flash and then complete darkness. The backup generators must be overloaded. I grabbed a flashlight from atop the fridge and flipped it on. The dim bulb barely illuminated my room in a golden glow, barely brighter than a candle. The piles of trash and clothes on the floor casted ghastly silhouettes on the walls that seemed to follow me. As I slowly shifted around the room, I pulled my boots from under the bed and fresh clothes from under the couch and carefully slid into my jeans and pulled my hoodie over my head. Stepping into the bathroom, flashlight in hand, I dipped a small paper cup into my half-filled bathtub and took a sip. The cold, rancid water sent a shiver down my spine as the water passed my lips and hit my stomach like a boxer's punch. Ugh. Head pounding, I pried open the medicine cabinet and reached for the aspirin. Fingers and hands trembling, I fiddled with the childproof cap for what seemed like hours. Finally, I forced it open, causing the cap to pop off and sending pills flying into the sink. Desperately trying to retrieve them, I managed to save only 2. Fuck! I yelled aloud, and instantly I realized my mistake. My trembling hands flew up over my mouth as I stood in silence, waiting and listening. The door to the room above me slammed open, rattling my walls and windows. Boots pounded on the linoleum floor as it ran down the stairs. The bulb in my radio slowly dimmed as the room faded to darkness.